What's going on, guys? Teddy Baldassarre from teddybaldassarre.com. If you're new to this channel, this is where we do deeper dive reviews of watches available for purchase on our website as an authorized dealer of all the brands that we carry. Today, we're going to be looking at the Tissot Swissmatic, an awesome entry-level Swiss automatic watch from the brand Tissot. In this video, we're going to be doing, of course, a deeper dive review, things to consider both on the positive and negative end at the end of the video, and then also all the relevant links will be in the description down below if you are interested in purchasing this watch. So guys, let's take a closer look at this piece. Now, first looking at a rundown of the specs, we have a case size of 40 millimeters, thickness of 11.62 millimeters, lug width of 21 millimeters, lug to lug of 48.8 millimeters, water resistance of 30 meters, movement is a Tissot Swissmatic 72, crystal is sapphire, and price $395 to $450 depending on the different variant that you go for. And if you do use promo code Everytime Swiss at checkout, you can get a free strap up to $25 with your purchase for free. Just add the strap to your cart, apply the code, and you'll be all good to go. Well, maybe not being championed as the pinnacle of watchmaking like some of its Swatch Group sister brands, the 1853 founded Lalac-based Tissot currently holds an integral position in the watch market. For many collectors, both new and old, Tissot was really that bridge from taking many of those, say, fashion-forward watches that are at the very low end of the price category and starting to get into the world of Swiss-made timepieces. For Tissot's uncommon place of bridging the mass market with collecting community, the brand is often thought as differently in each space. To the market at large, Tissot is probably most known for their association with the NBA and other initiatives of that type. But the brand is also really well recognized in its relative availability, as you're unlikely to probably walk into any watch boutique or jewelry store where there's not at least a few Tissots. Conversely, to the watch community though, Tissot is probably best known for their vintage-inspired models like their Heritage 1948 chronograph or their other value-oriented models like the Gentleman Powermatic 80, the Visit-Date, for example. And when marrying together historical credentials with value propositions and competing in a marketplace, you really have a winning formula for a beloved brand, as Tissot is actually the first Swiss brand that I ever owned in my watch collecting journey. Now, the model that we have here today is, again, the Tissot Everytime Swissmatic. Probably one of the brand's best examples of this bridging the two markets together between the mass consumer and the more serious collector. First released in 2017 to much positive praise by critics and collectors, the model upon its debut was praised for its affordability brought on by the automated production chain that was used to construct its movement. But up to that point, the automated process was only being used by the 2013 debuted the ETA C10111 movement used in Swatch's System 51, and at the Everytime's release in 2017 represented a significant shift in the market towards more of an affordable and more serious Swiss mechanical watch. Now, taking a closer look at this watch on the wrist, we have a 40 millimeter diameter with a thickness of 11.62 millimeters and a lug-to-lug of 50 millimeters. The watch itself does wear rather large on the wrist with that 50 millimeter lug-to-lug distance, but is going to be thin with that 11.62 millimeters in regards to thickness. This watch on the wrist I'd recommend for people with, say, more medium-sized wrists and up, just given the larger format of this dial and just really taking up the majority of the real estate with the smaller bezel along the outside. And the very high contrast dial is only going to make it appear larger. The case of this watch comes in a polished finish throughout, and as mentioned before, is going to be 21 millimeters for the lug width here. So you're not going to have the same versatility when it comes to third-party straps. I do have some on my site, and again, use that promo code if you do want to take advantage. The crown here at the 3 o'clock is of a simple push-pull type of variety. It is going to be at the first position used to wind the movement, second position you can change the date, and at the third position set the precise time. One important point here is there is no hacking featured with this mechanism, so you just need to be conscious of when you're setting this time to make sure that that second hand is aligned in a way where you can start to get some precise timekeeping. Now, the Everytime Swissmatic does come on a variety of different straps or bracelet options. You can go with a beads of rice style bracelet buckled with a Tissot signed fold over clasp and is adjusted with the familiar pin and collar style system. In addition, there's also a variety of different leather strap options that you could choose from. I personally like the look of the leather strap options, I think saving a little bit of money, as I find the bracelet just kind of rather mediocre for what you're delivering here. I'd rather save the money, invest in maybe some third-party options, especially considering this is 21 21 millimeters, and just spending a little extra money will allow you to get the versatility out of this piece. And considering the versatility that comes with the dial and being paired with a variety of different outfits, I think that's something that you'd want to jump at. Now, looking down at that dial, we have a very slightly domed sapphire crystal protecting the elements underneath, with a matte silver background playing host to the surface's minimalist features. The dial itself can appear white in certain lighting conditions, especially when comparing it to the steel case and bracelet. But overall, very classic looks with the execution here. On the outermost edge of this dial, we have a subtle black minute track, accentuated at each of the hour markers with applied stainless steel indices. At the 3 o'clock position, we do have a small date window, which serves as the model's sole complication, and one that effectively blends into the more minimalist style design. At the 12 o'clock, we have the printed Tissot logo with its founding year of 1853 printed just below, both in black. Then towards the 6 o'clock, we then have Swissmatic text printed again in black, recalling both the Swissmatic movement inside the model and its namesake. And at the bottom of the dial, we then will see the Swiss made mark below. Flipping over the Everytime, we have an open case back providing view of the Tissot Swissmatic 72 movement, aka the ETA C15111. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, the Swissmatic 72 uses the System 51 movement as its base. The largest difference between the Tissot and the Swatch movements being Tissot's 72-hour power reserve versus the Swatch's 90-hour power reserve, as well as the exterior construction and presentation of each. The Swissmatic 72 caliber most notably uses a large radial polished sine rotor for its automatic element, while visually interesting black plated surface is found behind covering the surface of the movement. Now, the movement itself features an aforementioned 72-hour power reserve hand winding function via the crown, and in terms of accuracy, going to perform quite well. This one's running at -3 seconds per day. The watch beat rate is relatively slower, so it's actually brought down to 21,600 vibrations per hour, 3 hertz, and because of this lower beat frequency is going to really allow this model to have that elevated power reserve of 3 days. And because this is based off a System 51 base, serviceability, honestly with Tissot, they do have very affordable servicing costs, which I can link to down below if you do want some more information about this. But they found that it's actually just cheaper to replace the entire movement if you are going to get it serviced to some degree. So that's just one point of emphasis. These watches are not made to just have the same movement in them for probably their entire life cycle. Just a fun watch that you can kind of just beat around, have fun with, and be a great entry door into the world of Swiss watchmaking. Now, the way that I close out that last statement, I think it's important now to kind of just look at this piece from a high level. Who is it for? Who is it not for? Now, in the last several years, we've seen the rise of many fashion watch brands that make huge, lofty claims about disrupting an industry, creating all these amazing products for the money and cutting out a middleman, for example. But when you look at a Tissot like this, I see this as a great entry door to somebody that has maybe navigated from the world of fashion watches or just wanting something that looks good and starting to get into the world of Swiss mechanical watches for the first time as being a great place to look. It has that simple minimalist look that I think will be versatile for somebody of that type of nature to really gravitate towards, while also offering something with great versatility that can be paired with a variety of different outfits for maybe a younger or more fashion-forward type of consumer. I think the 21 millimeters lug width is hurting this watch in terms of that versatility a bit for pairing different straps with it. Serviceability with the movement, because it's kind of more of seen as a throwaway movement, can be a challenge. But if you look at Tissot's actual service costs, we're talking $50 for a 2 to 3 hand mechanical simple service, and a full rehaul, like a full rehaul for one of their Swissmatic movements, is $120. So it's not like you're paying a crazy amount here to get this thing fixed. It is a question of whether that's worth it for you, given this is a very affordable watch. But who is this watch for at the end of the day? I see this as being a great entry-level Swiss mechanical watch for somebody that wants more of a design-forward, versatile, simple, minimalist look. So guys, thank you again so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Really would appreciate that. Also, hit the link in the description if you are interested in learning more about this piece and also purchasing it. We're an authorized dealer of all the brands that we carry, full factory warranty, and one of the most secure places you can buy a watch online. So guys, thank you again so much for watching. Be well, and I will see you all very soon.